Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the role of the customer service representative and what that role looks like as it relates to executing a strong customer experience. When you think of the people that work in a customer service role, I want to ask the question like, what comes to mind for you? Who do you think of? And I think that's really important because we need to define who is a customer service rep. And the customer service, this is a great definition. It is customer service is both a type of job and a set of job skills. As a job, customer service professionals are responsible for addressing customer needs and ensuring they have a good experience. As a skill set, customer service entails several qualities like active listening, empathy, problem solving, and communication. So, what does this person do? And maybe you have been a customer service rep in an organization that this may have already been a job of yours. And truly, really, a CSR or customer service rep responds to customer requests and they solve problems. They use their innate knowledge of the company and the organization's internal resources, like understanding the knowledge base, like how do you use a product or a service, and helping those customers achieve their goals. Additionally, customer service can be a very proactive opportunity as well, not only reactive. Reps can solve problems before users even recognize them by reaching out with product offers or company updates. So, for instance, your company might realize there's a bug in one of your latest products, and they may proactively reach out to all the customers who are using that product to say to them, hey, this is an issue. Let's resolve it. And this is what I need you to do. So this is important because there are two type of customers that usually your customer service rep is helping. First are internal customers, and these are your company employees who need, support or information or action from other employees to do their job. Then you have external customers, and they are obviously the customers who purchase your products or services from the company. Employees who work in job positions that require them to interface with external customers directly. So, an example of an employee working to serve an external customer might be a situation where a customer phones the store's service desk, and the employee who answered the phone listens attentively to a customer's story, then places the customer on hold while they check with their manager or their employee about the customer's concern or query. The employee who is asking for help has become an internal customer because they need to follow up with the external customer to finish the call. So you can see that the team could be working together both with internal customers and external customers to solve a problem. But at the end of the day, that is really what customer service reps are, problem solvers. The truth is that you want to be able to really put your customers first. Now, I am not going to share this video, but if you jump into FOL, download the PowerPoint, there is a link to this video, but it's a great video based on Amazon CEO, how they have a really focus on a customer first mentality. And truly, customer service is a mindset, it's a way of approaching your customers by putting your customers' needs first. And this goes a step further to think above and beyond what can be done to improve the customer experience. That means that an employee you already able to really display, positive attitudes and behaviors, and you really want to be thinking about demonstrating that awareness and how you bring that into your meetings or exceeding those customer expectations. Okay. Super important because while all of that is great, we want to always be thinking about our customers first. So we want to be able to solve those problems quickly and efficiently. So that means that if you have this customer first mentality and as a CSR, you really need to be thinking about that service culture. And we talked about this a little bit at the beginning of this course, but I think it's important to note here, right? A culture really means a company's policies, procedures, and employees who are always acting in the organization's culture first by really communicating the company culture right through their appearance, interactions with the customers, product knowledge, skills, attitude. Maintaining a friendly, positive, and professional attitude in the workplace will take you far. Here are a few of those benefits, right? You get to excel in providing great customer service. You have employees who are really engaged in the company. And this is so important. So, really, we want to make sure we're focusing on customer satisfaction and understanding what the customer's needs and wants are. So, what really truly makes a great customer service representative? Well, there are a couple of key skills that I want you to think about. First of all, they have to be able to communicate effectively, right? You need to understand information and really know how to answer a question. First, you want to be able to gather the right information and then make sure that you are getting that information. The second is managing information. As a CSR, you have to really know your product and your service, and you have to know what's happening within the company so you can better serve them. Who they you can send people to if they have a problem about something specific. The other thing you need to be able to do is you need to be able to really think and solve problems. I think this is such an important life skill. You have to be able to identify the problem and you need to come up with solutions. The stronger you are at identifying the root cause of a problem, the stronger you are going to be in effectively solving a problem, not just quickly, but for a really long period of time. And that is critical. So there are 10 tips for effective communication with customers. Okay. These are some of them. I want you to think about this. You want to be patient. Okay. You want accuracy, proactive, attentiveness, avoiding interruptions, honesty in, the way you work, understanding the products and service, active listening, and also apologizing sometimes helps when you are really listening to somebody. You also don't want to take shortcuts. And I think that's really important. When you dive in to, the PowerPoint, there's a great role play where someone's actually learning how to actively listen. And it's a great way for you to listen to something and really think about how you can incorporate that into your everyday life, because that is a skill that will take you far. So, I want to talk a little bit about service recovery because often when you're a CSR, you need to sit down and you need to listen to the customers. But there's also the best companies have something that they call a recovery. And that's really a company's resolution or how they resolve a problem from a dissatisfied customer. So it's not you just coming up and making up your own solutions all the time. It's about following a procedure that falls in line with the customer's service culture and their values. So I really love this one as an example. This is Starbucks. They have a customer service recovery framework. So if someone comes to them with an issue, they say, hey, use the acronym LATTE to assist you in helping solve this person's problem. The very first thing they say is they want you to listen. Then the second, they want you to acknowledge, show the customer that you understand their grievance by verbally confirming it. You want to thank them for bringing the subject up. You want to take action. You want to resolve the issue, and you want to encourage them to come back to you again. I love this acronym because it really shows a way of how you can help put into practice those really strong active listening as well as problem solving and communication skills. The truth is, you're going to get angry customers. Angry customers are going to come in any business in any form. You're going to have ones that are really frustrated and others that may be passively angry. Regardless, you want to be able to have a problem solving model. And I love this diagram because it allows you to identify the problem, compile and analyze the data, develop alternative solutions, select a solution, implement the solution, and evaluate the outcome. And this you can see, I'm going to take you through this, but this is in your readings this week as well through the customer centricity chapter. So the very first thing is you want to identify or define the real problem, right? We need to figure out what exactly is the problem. Sometimes customers come with us with what I call a surface level problem. It's actually not the root problem. Second, you want to compile and analyze the data. You want to actually get all of the facts from them. And then sometimes you might need to go to another source to ask them, is there anything else that you need to know or anything else that you need to figure out? So you might have to ask a couple of people. Third is you want to come up with some solutions. Depending on what the problem is, you might be able to work with a couple of people and you might bring to your customer a couple of different solutions, or you might just select the best one. Okay. Then you want to implement the solution. After you have decided whether it be through your team or working with the customer what the best solution is, you're going to implement the solution and you're going to evaluate, did it work? What would you do differently? So I love that as a framework for really thinking about and understanding what that looks like. All right. So that is the role of the CSR. Those are some skills and traits that you really need to be good at to be a great CSR. The other thing with being an excellent CSR, and it goes back to that idea of active listening, is how do we really listen to this voice of the customer and how can we be proactive? And the voice of the customer program is a really strong program that a lot of new organizations are implementing to make sure that they're always understanding the different views of the customers, what their wants are, what their needs are, expectations, preferences. The goal of defining the voice of the customer is to be able to improve these actions for a much more seamless customer experience. So, the voice of the customer is usually defined by collecting data on what your customers are saying about the experiences in the business and uncovering any common themes of feedback or concerns or things that you as an organization just need to be in front of. We want to incorporate customer feedback for continuous improvement because remember, we know that executing an excellent customer service has to start with its employees and our values and our culture, but we also need to be listening to our customers. We always need to be integrating that into our programming over and over again. So, having a voice of the customer program and feedback loop really does increase the customer experience for our external customers. Why? Because we're meeting the client's expectations. We're solving problems usually more proactively and fulfilling their needs. We're asking for feedback ongoing. We're listening to their voice, helps you create a better understanding of who your clients are and how you can connect with them. And it's allowing us to know if there's any points of friction in our process. So, how do you create a voice of the program, like a voice of the customer program? Well, the very first thing is you need to start gathering feedback. That relies on your customer service team or any of your teams that are really customer focused. The very first thing is we need to figure out data. That data could be on social media, it could be in the app that they're using that your program has, it could be in your CRM system. It also could be just through talking to your CSR rep at a call center or in your live chat. Wherever you are in all the different channels, you want to bring it together. Now, this is a really important thing. A lot of times when we think about the customer, this program, we're really doing a lot of social listening. One of the biggest ways to be proactive is understanding and gathering information collected on all the data and details by capturing that. Today, 65% of customers use social media for customer service, and they are recently publishing insights such as Facebook, and because there's so many messages. If you are a CSR rep, you might be on Facebook, you might be on Instagram, you might be on the live chat through the website, you might also be taking phone calls. We need to make sure that we're always looking and analyzing that information so we can better understand trends and feedback and also sometimes complaints. Why do we use social listening? Well, the very, very most important thing is that 65% of our customers use social media for customer service. And maybe you have too. You might put out something into the world saying, hey, this is a problem, right? This is really important because we want to make sure that we are always actively listening. And there are a number of different products out there that can help us do that and aggregate all that data. If you're a large brand, it's easy to have lots of people talking about your brand in a variety of different ways. And for you to better understand that allows you to track something that might be relevant to your business or to allow you the opportunity to know if something is going south or not doing well really quick. Okay, so this is an example of a dashboard from a product called TweetsMap. And they show you how your hashtags spread and they give you a better understanding of demographics as well as monitoring what people say so you can have that instance. Social Studio is another social listening platform through Salesforce that again allows you to better understand what's the sentiment. What are people happy? Are they sad? How are they talking about a brand? All information that you can then use to again provide a better customer experience. Of course, there's a variety of different ways that you can collect feedback, right? You can call based on the calls that you're taking, chatbot interactions, running polls on social media. All of that is really important. Okay, so first we have to collect the data. Now we need to analyze the customer data. How are we identifying this data and finding trends? We need to analyze the feedback. Once you have your feedback, you can start to examine it for trends and insights into what's working with your customers and what's not. For example, you may notice that a certain product has a high abandoned cart rate. When combining this data with feedback you collected on a survey, you may realize that the competitor just launched a very similar but cheaper version of the product, and now or you have a prominent influencer that gave you a negative review, and that's affecting the way that the customers are experiencing your product and also purchasing. So, how do we bring all of those components together and start seeing what those themes and trends are? The last thing is, after we have all this data, we've analyzed it, we've come up with some insights, now we need to decide on what we're going to do and take action to move forward. Now that you're understanding what your customers are saying and how they feel about your business, now you need to think about, how does this allow you to make improvements in your customer experience? Which areas are going to have the biggest effect on your return on investment, and why? Based on the voice of the customer feedback you receive, you're going to be able to decide whether to completely overhaul a certain product, or if it just needs tweaks, or you just need to improve the customer journey. That is extremely important. The truth is, Zappos is one of the best examples as it relates to really improving their customer experience, right? Like, who would have thought that one point, people had the question, like, how could we possibly buy shoes online, right? But they were able to build a really increasingly loyal customer base by always listening to the customer feedback and making changes based on the voices of their customers that they were hearing all the time. And you know what changed? They started to do free shipping and returns right away. And even though that some people had huge orders, they gave them a 365-day return policy, right? They tried to make it as flexible as possible. Plus, they have an unlimited customer service call times so that you can get in touch with somebody 24/7. So this is really important. When you think about, the CSR role, it's shifting, it's changing, and a lot of that's starting to become the voice of the customer experience. And the truth is, best practices are important. And I just want to quickly run you through a couple. The very first one is, we know we need to track data across multiple touch points. We know we need to listen to the customer. Like our customer journey map, we need to have a customer listening path. Where and how are we inputting and seeking to understand our customers? And how does that align with our customer journey? The second thing is, as we listen to our customers, we need to continually collect data. This might be through different platforms that we're using, different technologies like Salesforce, like TweetSuite, like Social Studio, right? How else are we collecting data, and how else are we able to make information and get insights from that? The third is, we also, not only do we need to listen to our customers, we need to listen to our employees. If we have, 15 CSR reps, guess what? They have so much information that they can share based on their conversations and the feel and mentality that people are bringing to them. Are their customers all upset over the same product? This is so important for us to really maximize this CRO. Tell a unified story. After we get all the data, we've listened to everything, we need to make sure we are always communicating back to the customer. So if we're making changes, we want to tell them about those changes. It's so important to make sure that we're keeping both our customers and our employees in the loop. All right, last slide here. This is a great example of a company, Subly. It's a SaaS-based e-commerce platform that's really used by entrepreneurs and marketers. And when the company adopted a voice of a customer program, it added a feedback page to its website, just something like that. And it set up a feedback monitoring system for its Facebook page. Now, by doing these two small shifts, they were able to get their users to comment on more feedback and understanding what they liked about the website, what they didn't like about the website. And what they found was the methods of collecting the voice of the customer allowed them to harness their opinions on the best way to run their business and shape their product roadmap. Pretty much their approach paid off because the customers started to become the center of their business. So they shifted to a customer-centric model. This is all important because you just want to be always integrating that voice of the customer. And when you do that, you get huge benefits.